Hello friends, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Asha Patil from SNDT Women's University, Mumbai, India. Today we are going to deal with a module on characteristics of adult learners. Adult education in India normally deals with the persons in the age group of 15 years and above. They are mostly from urban slums, rural and tribal areas of the country. Adults have their personal, family and community role and responsibilities. The majority of adult illiterate population includes women, scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, other backward castes, minority and deprived sections of the society. They possess experience and knowledge and have established values and beliefs. They are in productive age group, both economic and reproduction. They are busy and preoccupied with their livelihood. All of them are respected persons. The learning objectives of this module include to deal with the topic of characteristics of adult learners, to define adult learners, to define adult learning, to define the principles affecting adult learning, and to describe the characteristics of adult learners. Let us see who are the adult learners. Adult learners are non-traditional learners who are either defined on the basis of age or cognitive maturity. Although both the bases have their own strengths, but the factor of age seems to be more practical for defining an adult learner. In India, in adult education programs, the adult in the age group of 15 to 35 are covered and sometimes even above this age group. Other various organizations of the world like Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, usually known as OECD, and UNESCO have referred to the adult learners in their papers within the age group of 24 to 65 years. If the factor of age is taken as a basis for being an adult learner, the selection, evaluation and classification may become simple. Since the retired persons have been engaging in adult learning, it may be more practical to change the age grouping to 25 years and above. In that case, consideration of adult learners may be extended to that of the employed, the unemployed and the superannuated adult learners. Malcolm Novels in the year 1973 has given a resurgence to the word andragogy, which was used for creation of a unified theory of adult learning, and his contentions were based on the following assumptions. First assumption, as the learners get maturity, they prefer self-direction. Their self-concept moves from that of a dependent personality towards one of a self-directing human being. The role of the instructor is only to engage in a process of inquiry, analysis and decision making with adult learners rather than to transmit knowledge. The second assumption is an adult accumulates a growing reservoir of experience which is the rich resource for learning. Active participation in planned experiences such as discussions or problem solving exercises and analysis of those experiences and their application to work or life situations should be the core methodology for training adults. Adults learn and retain information more easily if they can relate it to their reservoir of past experience. An adult learner remains ready to learn if learning is closely related to the development tasks of his or her social role. Adult learners are aware of specific learning needs generated by real life events like marriage, divorce, parenting, taking a new job or maybe losing a job and so on. Their needs and interests are the starting points and serve as guideposts for training activities. The fourth assumption includes, as the people get matured, there is a chance in time perspective from future application of knowledge to immediacy of application. The adults are competency based learners, which means that they want to learn a skill or acquire knowledge that they can apply practically to their immediate circumstances. Life or work related situations present a more appropriate framework for adult learning than academic or theoretical approaches. The most potent motivations are internal rather than external. Adults need to know why they need to learn something. Thus, based on above assumptions and to use age as a key determination of the term adult, an adult learner can be defined as a self-directed person 25 years of age and above, whose engagement and readiness to learn is based on the immediate applicability to the development tasks of his or her social role, incorporating his or her reservoir of experience. Although above assumptions have been criticized that they do not hold true for all and that they are Eurocentric. However, it serves as a good starting point towards understanding as adult learners, besides from the fact that these assumptions are still being used in the field of adult education today. There are some complexities of understanding an adult learner. Knowledge assumptions of an adult who are self-directed, experienced, readiness to learn and immediacy of application cannot fully explain such complexities. Somehow, he has forgotten to take into account the multifaceted life of an adult involving not only the professional life, but also the family, personal, social and cultural aspects of their life. Furthermore, his assumptions that the most potent motivations are internal rather than external could be challenged, taking into consideration that internal motivation is formed by external and internal forces. It is almost impossible to determine the real distinction between internal and external motivation. The life stage or needs of an adult learner also determines his or her value system, be it existence, relatedness or growth needs. It has also a significant influence on the adult learner's decision to participate in adult learning, as it affects one or even all of the three dimensions of learning, that is cognitive, emotions or environment. Let us see what do you mean by learning. Learning is a process of attaining knowledge by visual, auditory and kinesthetic styles. This process starts from infancy and continues till the death of human being. The visual includes learning which takes place through seeing, hearing and watching. Thus, the illustrations or visuals and colors should catch the interest of the adult learner. The auditory learners tend to learn by listening, hearing and speaking. It includes the stories which can be read out, practical situations and incidences that are related to their habitats. The kinesthetic style tends to make learning possible by experiencing, moving and doing, which includes role play, exercises, simulations, practices, demonstrations and such activities to generate interest of the learners. There are three major domains. The first domain is cognitive domain. It refers to knowledge and mental development. Adult learners are mentally developed and knowledgeable. The second is affective domain. It refers to attitudes and beliefs. The adult learner has already set of attitudes, values and benefits. The third domain includes behavioral domain. It refers to practical applications. Applications of literacy should link to the culture, environment, livelihood of the target group. The characteristics of learning by an adult learner can be categorized as under autonomous and self-directed. Adults are autonomous and will direct their own learning based on their learning goals. The second one is life experience and knowledge. The learner's life experiences such as work experiences, dealing with family affairs and societal roles will influence the learner's learning process. Goal oriented learners, adults participate in literacy class for specific reasons or goals which they want to achieve. Fourth one is relevance oriented. The adult learners always assess how learning is relevant to their life. And the fifth one is practical. Learners want to apply their newly acquired skills immediately in their life, in their day-to-day life. Self-respect. Learners' existing skills and life experiences have to be recognized and respected. Let us see the principles of adult learning. For more than 20 years, adult learning theory has served as the framework for training adults. In order to derive maximum benefit from our training programs, following principles need to be observed so as to enable adults to learn effectively. First one is leadership. Adults enter the learning environment with a deep need to be self-directing and take a leadership role in his or her learning. For this problem, the adult educators define the process through which learning takes place in the development of a learning environment, which may be illustrated as under. The learners are guided by their instructors in determining the relevance of the learning for their own lives and work, whereas the instructor encourages the learners to use their own leadership, judgment and decision making capabilities. The instructor has to gather information from the participants about their skills, prior training, education and professional experience and interest in need for and their expectations for the sessions. This information can be utilized for instructional objectives. The instructor may also ask participants to list their skills, experiences and positive characteristics which they bring to the learning environment. This process honors participants, identifies his resources for the group and provides additional assessment data. The second one is experience. For adult learning, experience is a rich source by which adults very actively feel involved in the learning process. An effective instructor involves the adult learners with various levels of experience in the instructional process. There is a tendency among humans that they can only think consciously about one thing at a time. Therefore, concentration is essentially required for learners' tasks for which contents, formats and sequences must be interesting. On the job training, small group discussions, case study work or even computer based training like activities help increase involvement of learners in learning process and retention of their knowledge. Third one is appeal. An appeal has to be developed in the adult learners for a need to know, which is the power for arousing their interest. They want to know how the instruction will help them, what is in it for them, why do they need their information, how will they benefit from it, How can they make use of it in a practical real way? How will it help them to be better persons or professionals? The appropriate frameworks for organizing adult learning should be life or work related situations. The instructor should explore ways by which the needs of each learner can be incorporated in the training sessions, which may include the use of existing learning experiences and learning activities which are self-paced and tailored to individual rates of learning. He should also provide real experience through which the learners experience the benefit of knowing and the cost of not knowing. Respect. For the sake of learning to take place, proper honor to adult learners individually and experience should be given so that a safe, respectful and participant centered environment can be created. The instructor can help foster a comfortable and productive learning climate through the attitude by showing respect for learners' individuality and experience. It may be open to different perspectives and treating the adult learners as individuals rather than as a group of people who are all alike. This should establish a learning climate of mutual respect, collaboration rather than competition, support rather than judgment of mutual trust and fun. The next point is novel styles. The instructor should deliver instructions in a stimulating, rich and diverse environment through a variety of instructional methods so that it may appeal to adult participants' learning style and preferences. It has been experienced that adult learners do respond in a better way when new material for learning is presented to them through a variety of instructional methods, which in fact appeals to their different learning preferences. Whereas the flexibility in the programs needs to be incorporated, the instructor should also take into consideration the novel style of learning which is brought to the learning sessions by each adult learner. It is therefore necessary that adult learning theories should be made integral parts of adult education and they should first be trained into andragogy. Let us see characteristics of adult learners. In the capacity of learners, the characteristics of adult can be enumerated as under in comparison to the young learners. First characteristics is self-directed and autonomous. Adult learners prefer to be self-directed in their life. They want to be autonomous, but due to their responsibilities towards their family, jobs, professions and other social engagements, their freedom is restricted to act. Although as an adult, the learner feels a deep sense of responsibility and does not like others to take away their right to choose. If adult learners are not given some control over their learning, they will resist learning and even attempt to harm the efforts being made for the education. Therefore, it is necessary to involve the activity in the learning process and the educators should serve as a facilitator to them. Adults may be included in the planning of educational efforts, their perspectives may be got about what topics are to be covered and they may be given some projects which reflect their interests. They may be given some responsibilities for presentations and group leadership. They may be allowed for their own knowledge rather than feed them with facts. The learners may be shown as to how the class will help them reach their goals. The second characteristic is reservoir of knowledge and life experiences. Adults have their life experiences which can be used as a resource in their learning. They tend to link any new learning to their previous one. They evaluate the validity of new ideas and concepts in the light of how the concepts fits in their experience and day-to-day life. Adult learners are required to connect learning to their knowledge and life experiences based on their family relationship, professional life, previous academic experiences, etc. Their knowledge and experience may be drawn out relevant to the topic of learning. Learning theories and concepts may be related to learners' lives and the value of knowledge and experience both may be recognized and acknowledged. Goal oriented and more motivated. This is the third characteristics. Whenever adult learners are enrolled in a course, they usually know what goal they want to attain. Adults make their personal choice to attend schooling even when such schooling is tied to professional development or job skills. They may be shown as to how the class will help them attain their goals. For their guidance, clear goals and course objectives should be presented early in the course syllabus. The educator should facilitate the adult learning by motivating the learners who are already motivated to pursue their learning. The fourth characteristic is more practical in learning. Adult learners are more pragmatic as they are motivated to learn new ideas, new information which are immediately applicable to their situation and needs. Therefore, it is essential to tie up the contents of programs to the application needs of the learners. The needs assessment strategies should be used for learning. The content of education may be weighed towards the ability rather than theory. The next characteristic is multiplicity of adult role cause hindrance. Since adult learners play multiple roles in their life relating to their families, professional jobs, social responsibilities, etc., they have less time and energy to devote to their study and learning. Thus, their role as a learner becomes secondary. It is therefore advisable that such adults are to be given assignment far ahead of time so that they may plan timely and execute them despite their being preoccupied with other roles and responsibilities. In such cases, normally families and their jobs may create obstacles for the learners. The next characteristic is adults have to fit their learning in their life by carving out some margin. In the capacity of a learner, an adult has to spend some time and energy for their learning job. Due to that adult's preoccupation in multiple activities, he or she will require to carve out some margins in his life so that learning can be fitted and setting of process of priority could be allowed therein. It is therefore advisable that adult learners may take proper advice, guidance and help to be realistic about their demands of learning and manage their time accordingly. Otherwise, they will be compelled to compromise with their learning. The next characteristic is adults sometimes lack confidence in learning. Some adults in their life might have experienced some negativity in their learning in their early schooling time or maybe previously. That might have been many reasons for them. Some other adult learners might have done well at their schooling, yet they feel shaky to continue learning due to lack of their self-confidence. It may therefore be necessary that in order to build up higher confidence in adult learners, suitable strategies of learning may be employed and better study skills be taught for improving learning. The classroom environment may be turned from competitive to collaborative one. The eighth characteristic is resistance to change. Learning brings certain changes in the attitudes and actions of adults, which is not welcomed by them, as a result of which they resist to such change as they feel that change may not be better and the results may not also be favorable. Therefore, it is felt necessary that adult learners are given appropriate reasons and explanation as to why the change has occurred. New ideas may link to the old concepts and accepted ones. The next characteristics is adults have more diversity. Due to their age and experience, adults always vary from each other in the area of learning. This difference and variety may be used as a good resource for learning. Necessary interaction in groups may be allowed so that adult learners may share their perspectives and experiences and learn to apply, solve problems with new ideas. Different types of materials may be used for variety of learning ways. The next characteristics is compensation to adult learners for their aging. The age factor also has a impact on adult learning due to learners' physical complications. With the advancement of age, many barriers are developed in the speed of learning. As the age grows, an adult tends to learn less rapidly, but whatever he learns by him may be deeper. The vision and hearing may create obstacles in learning. Thus, advisable to arrange proper sound lighting systems for such adult learners. For the sake of compensating aging issues, an appropriate physical environment may be made available to adult learners. The adult learners bear the mentality which has lesser curiosity than children, lesser flexibility, lesser optimistic, more responsibilities. Nature of imitation is less, but the nature of forgetfulness is more. Due to folk shyness or maybe public shyness, they do not like to learn in groups. More capacity for discussions. Feeling of expectation for respect is more. Reservoir of experience is already there. Being slowly inspired. More mental fatigue. Less need of exercise and lack of time. All these affect adult learners' learning. So, one has to take into consideration all these characteristics and plan their day-to-day activities. Thank you.